There is a type of person who has a whole to-do list sitting right in front of them, who genuinely cares about every single thing on it, who sits down, fully intending to start, and then just does not. Not because they are lazy, not because they do not care. Honestly, they probably care more than anyone else in the room, but their body will not move, their brain will not engage, and the longer they sit there, the worse it gets. And here is the part nobody tells you. Scientists have actually figured out what is happening in that frozen moment, and it has almost nothing to do with willpower. So look, if that is you, I need you to hear something first. You are not lazy, you are not broken, you are not undisciplined, and you are definitely not just making excuses. For years, we lumped this in with procrastination, like it is the same thing, but it is not. Procrastination is when you choose to scroll instead of working. This is different. This is wanting to start, needing to start, knowing exactly what happens if you do not, and still being completely unable to flip the switch. Top psychologists call it task paralysis. And once you understand what is actually going on under the hood, you will never beat yourself up about it the same way again. First up, let us talk about your brain chemistry, because this is where it gets wild. In 2009, Dr. Nora Volkow and her team ran brain scans on adults with ADHD. This got published in JAMA, one of the biggest medical journals out there. And what they found is that the dopamine reward pathway, the part of your brain that is supposed to go, yes, let us do this, was running on lower fuel than usual. Here is why that matters. Dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical. It is the get up and go chemical. It is what turns your intention into actual motion. So for a lot of brains, the importance of a task is enough. The deadline matters, so you start. But for an ADHD brain, importance alone does not generate enough signal to launch you. The task has to feel interesting, or urgent, or new, or a little bit scary. People call it an interest-based nervous system. Think of it like a car. You have got the key in the ignition. You have turned it. The engine is trying. But the tank is nearly empty. It is not that you do not want to drive. There is just not enough in there to move the wheels. So when you sit down to do something boring but important, and nothing happens, that is not a character flaw. That is a fuel gauge. But here is where it gets even more interesting, because dopamine is only half the story. Your brain also has a strange relationship with time. Psychologist Russell Barkley, who built one of the most influential theories of ADHD ever back in 1997, described it like this. The ADHD brain basically runs on two tenses. There is now and there is not now. That is it. And anything living in not now, the project due Friday, the email you have been avoiding, the thing you swore you would handle this week, it does not quite feel real to you. You know it is there. You can see it on the calendar, but it does not register in your body as something actually happening. It is like your future is sitting behind a wall of fog. You cannot feel it pulling at you, so your brain does not treat it as something to mobilize for. And then not now suddenly flips to now. The deadline is tonight, and out of nowhere, your whole system floods with urgency, and you do 3 days of work in 4 hours? Sound familiar? Yeah, that is not you being dramatic. That is your brain only being able to see what is directly in front of it. Okay, now this next part is the one I really want you to sit with, because it reframes everything. We tend to think of freezing as the system breaking down, the computer crashed. The wheels fell off. But there is a researcher named Edmund Sonuga Bark who proposed something different. Part of what he describes is called delay aversion. And the idea is this: the ADHD brain is not just failing to start, it is actively pulling away from the task because somewhere underneath, it is predicting pain, boredom, frustration, the discomfort of effort with no reward in sight. So your brain does what brains are built to do. It protects you from the thing it expects to hurt. Here is the metaphor I keep coming back to. That paralysis is not a broken machine. It is a bouncer standing at the door. Your brain looked at the task, decided this is going to feel bad, and put a guard in front of it to keep you out, the freezing you feel. That is not weakness. That is a protective mechanism that is just a little too good at its job. It is trying to keep you safe from discomfort. It is just doing it at the worst possible moment, for the worst possible things, like answering one email or opening your taxes. And there is one more piece, and it is the sneaky one, because people look at the task and go, but it is so simple. Why can you not just do it? Here is the thing. Simple tasks usually are not. Clean the kitchen is not one task. It is, where do I start? Do I do the dishes first? Where does this go? Do I even have soap? Wait, the trash is full too. Every step is a tiny decision, and your executive function, the brain's manager, has to hold all of them at once. For a lot of you, that manager runs at a different capacity. So a task that looks like one item is actually 40 open browser tabs running in the background, all at the same time, until the whole thing just freezes. You are not slow. Your system is just overloaded with stuff nobody else can see. Now, before you screenshot this and send it to everyone you know as your new personality, let us pump the brakes for a second, because here is the honest part. Understanding why your brain does this is a map. It is not a permission slip. There is a real difference between this is how my brain works, so let me build around it, and this is how my brain works, so I never have to try. One of those sets you free, the other one quietly keeps you stuck. The question was never really, why can you not start? The better question is, what is your brain trying to protect you from right now? And honestly, if this stuff is genuinely wrecking your job, your relationships, your sense of who you are, that is not something to just push through alone. That is worth talking to an actual professional about. Self-awareness is the first step. It is not the whole staircase. So here is what I want you to take from all of this. The starting line for your brain is simply further away than it is for other people. That is not a moral failing. It is a fuel system, a time sense, a guard at the door, and 40 open tabs, all stacked on top of each other. And once you stop fighting that and start working with it, everything changes. You stop trying to just push through, and you start lowering the bar to entry instead. You do not clean the kitchen. You put one mug in the sink. You do not write the report. You open the document and type one ugly sentence. You shrink the task until it slips right past the bouncer, because the goal was never to force the engine. It is to give it just enough to start rolling. So, the next time you are frozen in front of something you actually care about, I need you to drop the word lazy. That word was never true. Your brain is not refusing to work. It is waiting for a different kind of key. If this hit home for you, please subscribe. And if you want to support these deep dives, hit that join button below. I have got a video on screen breaking down exactly why your brain chases novelty the way it does. It answers a lot of what this one just opened up. I will see you there.